Hello, Stephen. I really appreciate you joining me here today for this interview. How are you doing?
I'm living the dream, man. How are you doing?
Great, thank you. I'll be interested to hear what living the dream means as we progress through the interview. For now, I invited you on to this interview because I saw a win from you in the freelancing channel. Could you explain a bit what that was about?
Yeah. So basically, I'm a content creator. I just make different stuff for YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all that fun stuff. But I don't really have the reach that I need to have to blow everything up. So I started thinking about how can we get some money in? How can we start making money off of this stuff and also start networking? And basically what I ended up doing was I would create content for large creators, mainly on Twitch, and then we would get sponsorships to get the money in. So that way we can help build their brand and then connect me with a couple other key people in the industry.
What made you interested in joining? How did you find out about it?
It's kind of been all over the place. I mean, there's videos out on YouTube about Hustler University, but I think it was kind of a experiment to some extent for me because I wasn't 100% sure. You don't really know what you're getting yourself into, but I figured, okay, $50 for a month. You test it out, you check out the courses, maybe you pick up a thing or two, maybe you don't pick up anything at all, but it's just $50. And I figured the upside was just worth it because if I'm spending $50 for a month and I make 100, it is worth it, right? I didn't really expect it to be something where I made 3K. I think we're probably going to make north of 10K this month off of it. And it was, again, like my first month in it. So it was pretty insane.
Why do you say you can make 10K off of it? How will it scale?
Well, a lot of gamers who stream on Twitch, they don't really care about YouTube. And so a lot of the YouTube videos they put out, they just ask their editor to stream or to clip and edit their streams. They don't get sponsors for it or anything like that. So basically, if they're not getting their videos sponsored, they're just not capitalizing on money that's there. So if we take the time to come up with the content and then we produce it for them, they can get a sponsor, which they're not already utilizing, and then we'll get paid off of that. And some of these creators, $10,000 for a sponsorship is nothing. I had a guy I was talking with actually, and he said $20,000 to $30,000 for a sponsorship would be pretty easy. He could get that done in a week. And so as we're working with more creators and we have more people that are coming up with these ideas, it just scales out. So if we did 10K sponsorships per event that we did, then 4 events, that's 40K, right? And just keep scaling up from there. It's actually pretty nuts because I haven't heard of anybody else doing something like this, but the money is literally just sitting out there.
Awesome. So how did you get this idea? Was it as you were going through the freelancing campus, or did you already have it, just didn't know how to implement it?
I didn't have this idea. I actually watched a YouTube video. It was like a Hustlers University steps 1 through 10 or something like that. And the very first step that Tate was talking about was speed. How fast can you get this stuff out? How fast can you get money in? So that was the basis for, okay, how can we ramp this up as quick as possible? And that was ultimately the reason I joined the real world, because I was thinking, all right, it has to be fast. What are the skills that I need to actually make this happen? And so that's when I started joining. I started learning about how to interact, how to network, how to connect with people. And that's what brought forth the idea. Just how quickly can we get money in? How quickly can we get connected with these big creators?
Did the freelancing campus teach you any other aspects, or were those the ones you named already?
Yeah, the biggest thing I think that I learned from the freelancing campus is how to deliver value, especially in like DMs, how to deliver value without being too wordy. Because as I've been working with these bigger creators who have a lot going on, I think that their communication gets very concise, right? So I think that I tend to embellish stuff a little bit too much, and just seeing that I have to be concise and bring value immediately to them. Literally don't message them unless you're bringing value in some way. That was probably the biggest takeaway from the freelancing course.
Going back to before you joined the real world, Was your life any different? Did the real world have any effect on it?
Yeah, I think the biggest change for me was I guess tenacity would be a way to put it, just the tenacity to push for something. I've always heard people say that if you want to be successful, you need to be hungry for whatever you're going after. And I didn't really understand it until I started listening to these different courses through the freelancing hub. And I started realizing that I desperately wanted this to be something that worked out. I desperately wanted content to be something that I'm working on, to be something that I can make money off of. And it gave me that tenacity, that drive, that hunger to really push forward. Before I was going through the real world, I think that I was just slow with stuff. I wasn't as on top of things. I wasn't pushing. I was just letting things happen around me. And I was in a 9-to-5, which I like sales. I like talking to people, but I want it to be something that I can get excited about, something impactful, something that I can create, something I have the leeway to be able to just do what I want to do. Right. And that's probably the biggest change for me, is just being able to do that. I'm having a blast with this.